How are you nerfing Affliction and you're not nerfing stuff like, I guess, Shadow Priest? Demonology Warlock buffs and Affliction Warlock nerfs. Dude, these Affliction Warlock nerfs are really weird. Is it because it was played in MDI for one dungeon? I only saw it in one dungeon. I don't know if they played it for more. But it feels a little bit out of left field. All right. Along with the launch of patch 10.07 next week, we'll make adjustments to some classes that are underperforming or overperforming. How are you nerfing Affliction and you're not nerfing stuff like, I guess, Shadow Priest, which I don't want the Shadow Priest nerfed, but is this where we start? Is this the line that we draw in the sand? Because of the timing of these changes, we intend to add all of the following to the 10.7 PTR patch notes. Please note that some changes below affect talents that are new or redesigned in 10.07, and all should be testable on the 10.07 PTR soon. All right. Okay, so it's mostly Warlock, but we're going to look at the other ones as well. Priest. Rhapsody now grants a stack every 2 seconds, down from 5 seconds. Holy. Burning Vehemence now causes Holy Fire to deal 30 to 60% of its initial damage to all nearby players, a buff from its previous 15 to 30%. Okay. I've played with it. It definitely felt underwhelming, so I'm kind of down for this. Shaman, Elemental. Swirling Currents increase the healing done by your healing stream totem by 40 to 80%, up from 20 to 40. This is double. Yes, this is what all of you Elemental Shamans have been waiting for. The buff to your healing stream totem. Woo! Let's go. Similar to Enhancement, I think the exact same number has changed. Okay. There we go. Warlock, Affliction. Dark Virtuosity now increases the... I don't know if that's your pronounce. It doesn't really matter. Increases the damage of Shadow Bolt and Drain Soul by 5 to 10%. Was 15 to 30%. It got cut down to a third. To Shadow Bolt and Drain Soul. I have never seen Affliction Warlock do damage in single target. I'm kidding, clearly. But this? I think I kind of half expected it to be some AoE nerfs. This is kind of like the only big takeaway from Affliction, no? Is that it just explodes in AoE with very little sacrifice to single target? Maybe I'm wrong, but still, this is a big nerf. Kindled Malice. Now increase the damage of Malefic Corruption and Seed of Corruption by 4. 8% was 8, 15%. Okay, so also cut down in half. Seed of... I don't know if this applied to Malefic Corruption, but obviously Seed of Corruption, so far, from all of the Affliction Warlocks, the two that I've seen ever since the Dragonflight expansion started, in AoE, it was pretty much Seed of Corruption. I don't know if Malefic Corruption was needed. But, dude... Demonology. Felguard. Oh, I think we're getting into buffs. But now for Demo, Felguard auto attack damage increased by 20%. That is a lot. Wild Imp damage increased by 20%. Vile Fiend damage increased by 30%. These are big changes. So these are buffs akin to the red nerfs. However, Demonology was actually struggling in single target. I don't think this applies. This does not apply to Fellstorm. So it's just Felguard auto attack. I don't know if this applies to Grimoire Felguard. I'd be interested to know if it does. Especially since we know that Demonology tier set makes the Grimoire Felguard a beast. Wild Imp damage, that's pretty good for single target. Vile Fiend damage. I think I was looking at a bunch of Demonology builds and I haven't seen Vile Fiend being used anymore. But, I mean, I love to see this stuff. So, we're seeing nerfs by 50%, buffs by 30%. God damn it. Destruction. All ability damage increased by 3%. This is the this is the I don't know what we're gonna do with destruction, guys. I just give it a 3% buff. That sounds about it. It sounds about like what's gonna fix the issue. Oh, dude. Well, I want to get a sense of the Demonology and Affliction nerfs. So let's pull up some logs and let's see exactly. First of all, let's look at Affliction. So it's getting, let's look at Teros, I suppose, and maybe Primal Council. It's getting single target and AoE nerfs. Let's see if we can put all of these numbers into perspective. Obviously, there are a bunch smarter Warlocks out there that have probably done the math as to how much overall, and maybe in the grand scheme of things, the nerfs are not huge. Oh, there's some Affliction here. Not a lot, though. There's some Affliction creeping up. I guess we cannot have like one affliction in the top 10 Warlock DPSers, right? It's one too many. It's one too many afflictions, for sure. For sure. Okay, so this is Teros. Now, the single target for affliction that was nerfed is Dark Virtuosity. Now, increase the damage of Shadow Bolts. I don't know if people even take this. This is the one. Shadow Bolt and Drain Soul deal 15% damage. Okay, so it's probably based on Sims. Okay, maybe that's not that bad then. So it's definitely affecting the new talents. Okay. However, Kindled Malice is being nerfed. So what's happening actually is that they're just doubling back on some of the new changes that they're doing, which I guess it's not that bad. Actually, I take it back. I mean, I don't know if it's fine. Obviously, there's been some testing done with Affliction on PTR. Personally, I haven't seen any of the Affliction in the M+S that we've done on the 10.1 PTR. And I don't know how many people tested 10.1007, but I guess we'll see next week how these all turn out. But even if these were overpowered, how overpowered could they have been when Affliction is barely even played in any content that they even have to go back on it though? And in terms of Demonology, where's our Teros logs? Teros, let's look at Demonology. Obviously this is also for 10.07, however, 10.07 doesn't change too much from 10.0. All right, so hardly... Oh no, Vile Fiend is basically being played. All right, that's good then. Let's look at one of the best simmed Warlocks, Demos, pure single target. Wow. So 100 percentile parse, 419 single target Demo does 100 percentile parse, while a BM does more damage with an 83 percentile parse. Okay, so one could say that perfectly played Demo is already struggling compared to everybody else that can do similar damage. Let's see, Wild Imp 20%, that means 2.4% extra damage from Wild Imp. So 2.2% or 2.3% rather from Felguard as well. So that's almost 5% increase in single target just from these two. Once again, I'm not sure if this applies to the Grimoire. If it applies to Grimoire, then maybe this is like an extra 1%, maybe. I'd be surprised, but maybe. But Vile Fiends, so 30% seemed like a lot, but considering that nobody even plays it on single target, maybe that's good. There's no point in watching destro. It's 3%, that's fine. An AoE, that's going to be really good. I don't know if this helps single target. Obviously, it's only 3%. Destro single target seems very lackluster. If we look at Teros, Destro, best Destro on pure single target fight with, I guess, all of the PIs that I can get. Similar, 420 level, 91k. 91k with no PIs. 91k is the best Destro with no power infusions used. And the best pure single target DPS on Teros, hopefully with no PIs, has 102k. So Beast Mastery still does more than 10% more single target damage than thank goddamn this Warlock. Okay, yeah, Warlocks are not even close, boy. In the sea of the Beast Masteries, you have trickles of shamans and warriors and druids and mages, and that's about it. Okay, so the buffs are good. Destro's probably not going to be enough. Affliction, apparently, from what chat is saying, Karl Mice tested out and these were needed. I guess that's fine. I kind of confused them probably with some of the effects that we've had so far on live. It's been a while since they've announced that these were up in the 10.07. But hey, I am down to see Affliction back into the game. That's for sure. But this is probably whatever. I'm kind of waiting to see a little bit more Elemental love. But as we just looked at the logs, Elemental is not that far behind. There's some Elementals that are turning heads here and there. All right, well, better luck next week.
I've been loving it then, I still love it now. Still, I play WoW. Still, I play WoW. Getting better every day, let me show you how. Cause still, I play WoW. Still, I play WoW. It's getting harder to stay, but at the end of the day, it's a guilty pleasure, so just log in and play. Whether it's classic or retail, I'ma do a /bow. Still, I play WoW.